Tomokui Kanata has been reincarnated in the weakest goblin, named Gobaru, after having undergone an unfortunate death. However, Gobaru has retained his previous life's memories, an unusual evolution, as well as becoming strong enough to gain status boosts from eating. In this alternate world of survival of the fittest, events unfold with competent subordinates and comrades. Delightful case of the tail-wagging dog. A man is seen at the mercy of a lady pushing her knife into him aggressively, like he is some sort of meat and not human. The man's name is Tomokui Kanata, but he doesn't seem concerned with what is happening in his surroundings. He narrates to us how his name doesn't matter in what is currently happening. The important thing we need to know is that he actually died from the knife wounds that the lady severely inflicted on him. He holds no regret as he breathes his last. In the next scene, the man opens his eyes and everywhere looks blurry. He can see an old goblin standing in front of him, and he wonders how he is alive when he is supposed to be dead. The old goblin mumbles his words and reveals that he will be calling the protagonists Gobru, while another goblin lying beside him will be named Gobkichi. Gobru is still trying to figure out what is happening when the old man pushes a big bug inside his mouth, thus consuming it. The second day, the camera angle gives us a good view of the room to show that Gobru has been reincarnated as a goblin baby, and there are several other babies in the room too. He died as a human, but came back as a goblin, and this makes him cry hard. On the third day, Gobru is able to stand up, and this proves that goblins mature fast. He already looks like a teenager, and he is able to speak too. He decides that he is going to make use of his second chance in life very well. He is going to survive by all means, he says. At the same time, the rest of the goblin kids in the room also stand up to take a look at their surroundings. On the fourth day, the old goblin comes to feed the kids, and he tells them that this is the last food that they are going to get from him. They are going to have to search for their own food if they want now. Gobru and the others consume their meal without wasting time. Once Gobru is done, he proceeds outside the cave. He manages to get accustomed to the bright light coming from the sun because he has been inside a cave for too long. Once he is outside, he realizes that he is actually in a totally different world because the animals and plants are all different. While Gobru is assessing the state of the environment, Gobkichi steps out also, and Gobru decides to team up with him. This is because Gobkichi is the biggest kid in the bunch, and he wants to use his strength for himself too. They soon run into a horned rabbit, and Gobru makes a plan to catch the rabbit. He tells Gobkichi to chase the rabbit while he ambushes the rabbit and delivers the killing blow. Once the rabbit is terminated, Gobkichi tries to take the meat for himself, but Gobru beats him up to establish their relationship, letting him know that they share things and not eat it all alone. Gobru then sits down to extract the rabbit's horn, and this is when he sees a notification telling him that he has acquired a small creature's horn. Gobru and his team partner then sit down to gobble up their kill. Gobkichi is very happy to have teamed up with Gobru, as he happily consumes the meat given to him. On the fifth day, the two continue with their hunt, and Gobru is informed that he has acquired a medium-sized horn after he extracted a horn. He mentions this to Gobkichi, but it doesn't seem he has an idea about it. Later on, he acquired the ability called Escape. This makes Gobru remember that there is this particular ability that he had in his former life, which is called Absorption. He is able to consume anything, and whatever he consumes, he is going to get the trait. However, all the other abilities he has is gone, but the Absorption trait is still there. On the sixth day, one of the kids, Gobmi, is blown away when she realizes that Gobru and Gobkichi are hunting horned rabbits for meat. She says one other kid was terminated some days back by a horned rabbit. Gobmi is impressed with the fact that Gobru is smart and strong. She then asks to go on a hunt with Gobru and Gobkichi. On the seventh day, when they were supposed to go on a hunt, it started raining, and they had no choice but to postpone everything. Gobru decides to go to the storage room to find what he can use as a weapon. Inside the storage room, he sees some human women who are being held captive for the most obvious reason, and this is for reproductive purposes. He doesn't think too much about this, and he just picks the stone he wants. He gets back to the cave and starts working on making it a weapon, and this is when the old goblin known as Gobji approaches him. He is the elder of the cave, and he is also the one who gave Gobru his name. The man tells him that he seems like someone who will level up fast. Gobru doesn't know how to check this, and the old man tells him that he just needs to swipe his finger across his eyes, and this is what he does. He sees that he is currently on level 86, but doesn't tell the man about it. Gobji tells Gobru that he has the opportunity to become an advanced goblin, which is known as Hobgoblin, once he reaches level 100. The man cannot wait to show Gobru what advanced goblins look like. He says some have gone hunting, and they will soon be back. Gobru uses the opportunity to tell us that goblins grow old fast, and the old man might actually be in his 20s. The next day, Gobmi joins Gobru and Gobkichi on their hunt for meat. With the three goblins hunting down prey, they are able to easily take down a bunch of animals that they comfortably sit down to consume. While consuming the meat, Gobru is blessed with a series of abilities yet again. The snake that they killed seems to be on another level, and it totally grants Gobru lots of stuff. Gobru is prepared to survive in this world, no matter what is thrown at him. On the 9th and 10th day, the trio prepare their hunting gear as usual. On the 11th day, they made the mistake of going into a cave where they were swarmed by monster bats. They start running away from the cave and Gobro tells Gobmi to run ahead. He then tells Gobkichi to use the shield to block the monsters while he tries to terminate them. He uses one of his abilities known as the Evil Eye to make the monsters freeze up and easily terminate them. As they sit down to consume the bats, Gobru is blessed with several abilities yet again. Among the abilities is echolocation. While they are eating, a bunch of hungry goblin kids are looking at them and wishing that they also have food to eat. On the 12th day, 6 of the kids stand up in the night and plan to terminate Gorbu while he sleeps. Thankfully, Gobru has his search ability active and this comes in handy. He is able to jump away before he is attacked. He turns back on them and beats them up. He stabbed one of them with his poisoned knife without adjusting the venom, and this caused the affected goblin to die. Gobmi wakes up just in time to also inflict her own punishment on the offenders, and Gobru is forced to stop her. On the 13th day, Gobru and his friends run into an orc, and they waste no time in turning the orc into their meal. With teamwork, they are easily able to take the monster down. Consuming the orc also gave Gobru a whole new set of abilities. Once the trio has had their fill, Gobru decides to take the rest of the meat back to the cave and give it to the hungry goblin kids. The goblins are surprised by this, and they happily dig into the meat. While they are eating, Gobru realizes that he never would have assisted the helpless in his previous life, but it seems something other than his appearance has changed. That night, Gobru is about to sleep when he sees a notification asking him if he wants to evolve into a hobgoblin because he has exceeded the required levels. Gobru is seriously feeling sleepy and doesn't have time to read this properly. He swipes yes and just gets back to sleep. Once he is asleep, he is informed that he has received the blessing of the grand divine being of demise and origin. On the 14th day, Gobru wakes up looking all different and bigger. Apparently, he has taken the form of an advanced goblin, and the same thing applies to Gobkichi. Gobru looks kind of purplish, while Gobkichi looks kind of green. Gobmi is surprised to see this, but she is able to identify the two. The elder goblin sees this and reveals his surprise about the improvement. He is shocked that the two have leveled up so much already, and it is not even up to a month that they were born. Gobkichi then faces Gobru and tells him that he wants to see how strong he has become by fighting him. A mock fight begins between the two. Gobkichi goes for power, while Gobru tries to evade him and uses simple tactics to try and take his opponent down. They exchange blows like it is bread, but at some point, Gobkichi goes for the kill, and this is where Gobru manages to get under him and take him down. Gobkichi talks about how impressive Gobru is, but Gobru lets him know that Gobkichi is ahead when it comes to raw power. Gobru and Gobkichi hear some movement noise coming towards them, and Gobru is able to figure out that trouble is coming their way. He knows that Gobmi has been hiding behind a tree and watching them from the start, and he calls out her name. He tells her to go to the cave and bring the crossbow that they built the other day. It appears that a pack of black wolves are heading toward their location. The wolves catch an orc on their way and terminate him. While they are busy consuming the orc's meat, Gobru and his friends are in a position to take the wolves. Gobru sees this as the perfect way to test their evolved strength and if they have improved. Gobmi uses the crossbow to fire a poisoned arrow into one of the wolves. This is able to give Gobru and Gobkichi the chance to go after the wolves. They easily take down the wolves, and while consuming the meat, Gobru is blessed with several stats, and this includes military leadership. Gobru and his friends then pack the rest of the wolves into the cave so that the others can eat. Gobru then tells the goblins that he will no longer be feeding them. The goblins bow to him when they hear this, begging him to please teach them how to kill. Gobru agrees to the deal, saying they are all comrades after all. The goblins start to cheer for him, and Gobru looks like a newly elected leader. This is the point where he realizes the path that he wants to take in his new life. He plans to keep eating and keep getting stronger so he can lead his comrades. 4 days later, Gobru is still teaching the goblins how to survive and make a kill for themselves. He enters the cave only to find out that Gobmi has also evolved, and she is looking like a beautiful goblin maiden.